Say, man, for those select few that are already initiated, you should already know what's coming next. And for those of you that aren't, just chill. See, we're going to get to the other stuff in a minute. These words. What it was. Y'all should know who it is, but if not, I can't tell you. But y'all tuned in with Priceless Knowledge of Self. And this right here, this ain't nothing but some cosmic insight, man. And I hope everybody doing good. I hope everybody vibing. Because it's time to get to work. And fortunately, that's what this here is all about. Because this right here, this a little something about those people that have the moon in the 6th house of their natal chart. Okay? And before we actually go there, pardon me, I'm sweating a little bit these lights. I'm used to the spotlight, but it still gives me a little sweating sometimes. But anyway, before we go there, if you don't know my style, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to bring y'all a little information about the moon and the houses in particular. I'm going to give y'all a little bit about the energy that comes along with that and how it might affect you. Then after that, I'm going to give y'all a little bit about what the 6th house of the astrological chart is actually all about. Then after that, we're going to bring it to a culmination. So without bullshitting anymore, wasting any more time, let's get it cracking, okay? So the moon, this is our instinctive awareness. This is our emotional nature. This is how we feel. You know, in Vedic astrology, they say it's the mind, but I just really think it's all about who you are inside and how you internalize things, okay? Being the closest celestial body in relation to Earth and the whole entire solar system, the moon has the strongest effect on our moods and personality on a day-to-day basis. And look, the moon controls the Earth's waters. The Earth is 65 to 70% water. I'm talking about the tides, where your body is 65 to 70% fluid. So think about the effect it has on you. Okay. A lot of people could say it can represent the relationship we have with our mother or the lack thereof. And hey, maybe it does. I really want to relate that as being a Cancer. I feel like it does. But when we're talking about the moon and the houses in particular, you know, this can reveal where and how we go about seeking emotional security and satisfaction. And looking at the house position of the moon, we can really find important clues to the reasons for any perpetual unrest that we might have going on. And that usually takes the form of, you know, constant changes or ups and downs in that area of life that's ruled by whatever house she's in. Okay. And it's in these areas that we should also really try to seek to make deep attachments rather than superficial and temporary emotional thrills. And that's definitely if we're seeking any type of true feeling of belonging or emotional fulfillment or validation, which the moon is always seeking that in some way, form, or fashion. Even if it's in the 5th house like mine, where it's like it's seeking that through fun. You understand? Pay attention. So when we talk about the 6th house, well, the 6th house, this is ruled by Mercury and the sign of Virgo. And, you know, it's about our health, our service to others, our day-to-day routines and our work ethic or our work style. And the 6th really relates to discipleship and mastery alongside with our ability to really, you know, overcome any obstacles and really actually produce the fruits of our achievements. You understand? And planets in the 6th, they really either manifest as blessings or challenges to our health and well-being. And they could also have indications to what we do as our job. You know, the 10th, though, understand that's career. This is your job day to day. And sometimes they're connected and sometimes they're not. It's up to you. Okay. If you're not really about public status, maybe you're more of a 6th house person. Me personally, I have quite a lot of energy in that 10th. I got Mercury and Venus in that 10th. We're not talking about the 10th. We're talking about the 6th. The 6th can also talk about pets. The 6th can also speak to our enemies. So that's always something that you can look at with that, okay? And so when we're talking about putting the moon in the 6th house, you know, really I'm going to tell y'all, more than anything else, man, this placement right here, it cultivates a down-to-earth person who really has an inherent desire to help and be of service to their fellow man, you know? And not only that, a lot of them really have deep emotional attachments to certain habits and certain routines because they find safety in establishing an organized and rational lifestyle. That's a big thing. Okay. And I've also seen that this placement can indicate, you know, real workaholics, you know, and that's because they're emotional about their work. They find, you know, getting up and going to work every day and consistently doing that helps them feel validated. That gives them a sense of security that we're all seeking in some way, form, or fashion, you know. Like me, I seek it in front. I seek it in attention. Being my moon in the 5th house. These people here, they seek it a different way. Okay? Ooh, I'm sweating. It's hot in here. It's a bad hailstorm outside too, but I love it. Hailstorms, that's what my soul is like. But anyway, man, when I look into it real deeper than that, when I see the moon in the 6th, let me tell you that it tells me that I'm dealing with somebody whose emotions and inner world is much more focused on solving problems in the here and now than they are on dwelling on that whys and how they go about solving things like that, man. It's the same thing, man. It depends, but really, it really depends a lot more on the sign and the aspects that's going on here, man. But, like for instance, let me say this. A Libra moon will probably, utilize their negotiation or their diplomatic skills. While an Aquarius moon, they might utilize, a more out of the box solution. Let's just say that. And so on and so forth. They might come up with some kind of device that just cuts people out of the equation altogether. You understand that? And whatever the case is, let me say that these are definitely the type of people who do everything in their power to consistently handle their business in the day-to-day, man. And, in doing so, this actually gives them a sense of security. So they could typically be the type of person you can expect, to have a disciplined and have a persistent approach in almost everything they do. And, that has a lot to do with, a lot of them being the type of individuals who can really, turn emotions into productivity. Because more than anything else, not working, that messes with them. Working is like a coping mechanism for them. Real talk, man. And this is like a Virgo moon, to be honest. And this is much more intense. People, when they ask me if I'm speaking about a certain planet that's related to a certain sign, like, they're like, oh, is this the same as, having a certain moon? No, it's not. It's not the same. Having the moon in the 6th is similar to having a Virgo moon, but it means totally different things. You understand? Because this is talking about the arena of life. You know what I'm saying? The sign is much more talking about the energy that you have to work with. You know what I'm saying? So this is the arena of life that Virgo rules. But if you have a Pisces moon like me, you know what I'm saying? The energy that you have to work with is going to be your intuition, your compassion. Say you have an Aries moon, it's going to be your drive. It's going to be your forcefulness. You understand? That's what you have to understand with this, man. And you also got to understand that when I am talking about moon in the 6th people, these are people who can truly appreciate productivity and consistency and efficiency, almost more than anything else. They're extremely hardworking and they expect the same effort from everybody. And if you don't get the same effort, they're going to talk trash. They're going to talk shit and they're probably going to pick you apart. That's the thing that you got to worry about, man. The 6th is also all about being rational and analytical and solving any problem that might occur with the utmost efficiency. Okay. And people with this moon here, they really find comfort in all that. I mean, that's simply put. They love to take care of their loved ones. And they also put an extraordinary amount of energy and effort into self-improvement themselves. And, being organized the way that they are, it really helps them out. It helps them out. This is somebody who is just inherently organized, man. And you can never forget that the 6th also can say a lot about our health. Okay, so when we place the moon here, what I can see is anything they have, it's probably could come up and stem from stress and anxiety that they just really place on themselves. Stressing over things that they can't control. So if they can really just learn to let that go and relax a little bit, which, that's always going to be much easier said than done. Take it from somebody who is a worrywart themselves, man. They usually be all right. And luckily, I can say that this is usually somebody who, might catch on with more of the psychosomatic stuff than anything else, man. And moving on from that, what I actually see with this is, is people who work in jobs related to healthcare and people who work in something that has to do with compassion and nurturing. And the 6th is also all about service. Okay. So, you could probably be these people, that just simply want to help. They simply want to help if it's more than anything else. So much so that they might even make themselves sick at times trying to help other people because they get really emotionally invested in the care that they give to other people. Understand? And so that's a beautiful aspect, but it could also be tough. It just depends on what's going on with it. And a big part of that issue is that, the chase for perfection. That's real important here. That's where that Virgo energy is definitely into play, man. It's so important to these people that it can cause issues. Too much Virgo energy can really lead to some obsessive and compulsive behaviors, which puts way too much pressure on them because, it's then pretty much impossible to live up to that ideal of perfection that they're trying to set as a standard for themselves. And it's not fair to themselves. And then once they put that on themselves, they're also going to start projecting that onto others, which ain't going to be healthy for other people either. So, it's just something that's going to have to be worked with in that arena. And really to sum this up, these are really those people that are the quintessential creatures of habit. The quintessential creatures of habit. And they're happy with sticking to what they know best as opposed to experiment with a variety of different ways and approaches. And they ain't gonna do that, man. They really show an immense amount of care and concern for others. And they also put an immense amount of effort into, guaranteeing the quality of their work too. That's something that they're about, man. So with that being the case, whatever is going on with them at work is going to have a tremendous effect on their emotions. Okay. And their sense of serenity can really, be affected by what's going on at work, to be honest, man. It really depends heavily on how much, gratification they're getting for their job and whether or not they feel appreciated or not. That's what it pours down to. And, that could be rough when you look for validation for that because you don't know who you're working for. And you don't know what it's about to be. And the thing is, man, these are also the type of people, to close this out, that probably have really emotional bonds with their pets. They work so hard at work. Like they come home and they talk to their animals. Like they feel like sometimes their pets are the only people that understand them with this case right here. You know what I'm saying? And, with this, their mom could have also been a Virgo or, had a lot of Virgo energy. It could play out a lot of different ways. But even if it don't play out like that, just because you built like that, you don't have to build like that. Okay. We all have all this energy available to us in our chart. What you do with it is what you do with it. And even beyond that, it's not about what you do. It's about how you do it. And that's some priceless knowledge in itself. And there's been some priceless knowledge of self. Hey, I appreciate all the love and support, man. If y'all are interested in the astrological readings whatsoever, you can either hit me up in the comments below or you can email me at mr.turner1300@gmail.com. Okay. And that's the same thing if you're interested in any merch. But let me tell you that I got to be honest. I want to sell you the merch and I will. But you can buy all the merch you want and you'll probably never be this fly because this type of swagger, it's got to be in you and not on you. You feel me? Y'all keep it real till I come back again.